got a big day today. So at 2:30, I don't have my watch on. At 2:30, Taylor's presenting my wife to her doctorate program on her project she's been doing the last year and a half. It's been a long process, but she's finally getting it done. That presentation is today at 2:30, so I'm going to join that online. Then after that, I'm presenting to the Cookeville Camera Club. A lot of time these camera club companies will invite photographers out to present to their groups on different topics or different strategies that they can use. And it's a really good opportunity for photographers to get in front of their audience and present an idea or a topic to them, and share ideas face to face rather than on email blast or on Facebook. This is a really good way to get in front of your audience and actually show them the value that you can create. And it's a really cool way too to get in front of future people. If you're getting into workshops and you want to get clients out on workshops, this is a good way to, hold on, I can't see. Much better. This is a really good way to get in front of your clients that could possibly come on a workshop with you and start sharing not only information and value that you can show them or shooting techniques that you can share with them, but this is also a great way to share your personality with them. How are you going to get along in the field? Because in workshops, you're out there for 4 days at a time, 5 days at a time, constantly together shooting with one another. So you want to make sure it's a good fit too. There's all these different things going on whenever you're meeting somebody or a group for the first time. So hopefully all this stuff goes well. But yeah, right now I got to check out of my hotel. So let's go. So I just got to the speaking gig, and I just want to quickly go over and give you an overview of what I'm talking about tonight. And it's the idea of how you can shoot for 24 hours a day in Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Now, this is specifically designed for this town and this camera club because they're so close to the Smokies. I can present that as an idea as a location base, and they can relate to it that way. But you can take this idea and use it in any location that you shoot in. Take it Death Valley, which I've actually done, shot 24 hours in Death Valley every single hour. You can just take this idea and put it anywhere. Even if you go into your backyard, you can use this topic and expand your photography and make yourself a more rounded photographer. So let's talk sunrise and sunset are usually the hours that people say, yeah, this is when you shoot. But if you think about that, you're really limiting yourself. We can even include blue hour and golden hour into that. So 2 hours for sunrise, specifically blue hour, and then the sunrise hour itself with all that golden light, and then golden hour, and then the sunset hour where the sun's setting and you get all those beautiful lights going on over mountains or whatever. If you take that, that's only shooting for 4 hours out of your day. Now, if we use the 4 hours divided by 24 hours, you're actually only using 16% of the day of shooting time. Now that leaves 84% of time that you can shoot that you're not shooting if you're only shooting at sunrise and sunset. That's a big problem because 84% of the day is a large chunk of time, and you can actually use all that time to create some really interesting photographs. Specifically, mid-morning, you can go out and shoot wildlife. If you have some fog hanging around, you can still shoot after the sun comes up. If you have some clouds in the sky, that diffused light of mid-morning, you can shoot in golden hour or afternoon hours when you get more of a golden light on the landscape that you have. Maybe not specifically golden hour because that's lumped in with that 4 hour times, but a couple hours leading up to golden hour, you can still shoot. Maybe if you're going hiking, you can take some adventure photographs, because when you take adventure photos, the subject of your photograph switches from landscape to person. So when your subject is a person, the light and the landscape behind them doesn't matter so much. So you can have that like splotchy mid-afternoon sun with distracting highlights and shadows. But if your subject is good and in correct light, like say you just put them in a shadow and they're nice and evenly lit, like you can use that as a really good way to shoot those mid-afternoon times. And then of course sunsets, you get like that really nice like color in the sky. And then night photography too is a really good way to use all hours of the night. Now, with this presentation, like night photography in the Smokies is like my white whale for photography in the Smokies, because the mountains there create so much unpredictable weather and fog and haze and shadows and clouds and all the stuff that goes on. And it really makes it difficult to predict when you can actually go out and photograph night skies. Now, I still haven't been able to do that yet in the Smokies. Like I said, it's my white whale, it's my dream scenario, and it's still on the run and I'm still chasing it. But you can use this idea of shooting for 24 hours out of the day for your own photography. It's like, if you believe this idea that you can shoot sunrise and sunset hours, then you're believing the idea that you can only shoot 16% of your day, when really that's a lie, and you can expand your photography and make your photography well-rounded. Now, if you notice, I've left out midday. Now, midday hours are the most difficult time to shoot in photography if you're shooting landscapes. So middays are actually the most difficult, but also the best opportunity for you to take more creative photographs and branch out into like some really artistic photography when we're talking landscapes or outdoor photography, because you can shoot things like long exposures with an ND filter. Maybe that's like 10 stops down, so you create these like really dynamic clouds that are streaking across the sky and moving across the sky. Or you can shoot stuff like macro photography. All you have to do with macro in midday hours is hold a piece of paper over like a wildflower or whatever your subject is in outdoor photography to create like a shadow over them. And that's all you need. You can still shoot in midday hours. Or my favorite in particular type of photography for midday is called high key, and it's purposefully blowing out your photograph, overexposing that photograph to make it overexposed, and then you just have shadow details coming through, and it makes it like this pencil drawing. And you can either do this in black and white or color. So if you do it in black and white, it's like a just pencil drawn in, and you have like charcoal textures and gray tones all within the photograph. If you do it with color, it's like a colored pencil drawing, and the color photographs are really good in the springtime when you have a lot of those flowers blooming like cherry blossoms or dogwoods. This is a really good time for you to use that high key technique in your photography so that you can create these really artistic, like high detail, highly creative photographs in midday. So that gives you an idea of like what this talk is about and how you can implement it into your own photography. I don't want to just show you the talk because that'd probably be really boring for you. So I wanted to give you a breakdown of that, what the talk's actually going to be like.
Good evening. So please welcome our speaker, David Johnston.
All right, guys, I just wrapped up giving the speech to the group. Really good talk, really good group of photographers there. I just want to challenge everybody, like, join a photography group. Join a group that will help you expand your horizons in photography. It's so easy to be like an introvert or a hermit in your own photography and start thinking like, well, where can I go shoot? Well, when you go out with other photographers or you talk with other photographers about technique or places they've gone, that's when your photography really starts to expand. Yes, you borrow ideas from other people and you borrow subject locations from other people. But in the meantime, it really helps you develop your own style, because you take what they say, go out to where they say go, and then you get to implement your own style and make that place your own. And you get to experience it for yourself. If you didn't have that community, then you never would have learned about that. You wouldn't be able to express yourself creatively with your own style in photography. And that's really what it's all about, like community, getting in front of other photographers, talking with them. It's like this idea of doing photography for the right reason. Like, you do it because you love it, and you share it because you want to share your creative vision with other people. And I think if you keep that creative vision like to yourself, sometimes it's worse than not even taking the photograph at all. Because if you create your photographic vision or your creative style and then you just keep it to yourself, well, that's like forming your own opinion in your head but never speaking it through your mouth. So think about joining a community of photographers, whether that's like an online forum where you can interact with other photographers, or if you have a local camera club in your own town. Highly recommend doing something like that. Really good talk with this group. I love the Cookeville Camera Club. I hope they have me back, but it's really up to them. Oh, and by the way, in case you're wondering, with my wife's presentation that went on this afternoon, she crushed it. So now she's a certified nurse midwife, a women's health nurse practitioner, a registered nurse, and a doctor of nursing practice in nurse midwifery. But that's just doctor to you, and I guess me too, since I'm the husband.